You know, as we speak right now, there's a shipload of prog rock fans sailing the Caribbean, listening to their favorite bands on the high seas, while I'm stuck here in Ohio talking to you freaks. Hello, it's me again, Scott from the Prog Corner. And we are going to be talking about Transatlantic today. Last night they just did their set on the boat. I'm sure it was great. I haven't seen any of the YouTube clips yet, but I have caught a couple videos from the tour thus far, and I'm really upset. Morsefest was last week. And now we got Cruise to the Edge, two events I've never been to, two events that I would really, really like to go to one day. But being the poor guy that I am, the working stiff that I am, the 9 to 5 dude that I am, it just isn't in the cards. But I sure would like somebody to comp me a trip one of these days. Boy, that sure would be great. Greetings, salutations, respect, love. Today we're talking about Transatlantic on a dreary Tuesday in Ohio where it's cold and it's rainy. And I follow the Cruise to the Edge Facebook page, and I'm looking at all these people in paradise having a great time, and I'm feeling a certain kind of way about it. So I figured the best way that I could combat this feeling of envy that I've got growing deep inside of me, is to just talk about a band that I love more than life itself, and that is Transatlantic, the band that actually single-handedly brought me back to Prague. You guys know who they are. They're comprised of Neil Morse from Spock's Beard, Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater, Pete Chihuahuas from Marillion, and the great Roy Nostalt from the Flower Kings. Their first album came out, and it changed everything for me. I had heard those other bands, obviously, before, and they never really hit me all that hard. The first Transatlantic album came out, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And from there, of course, I had to go back and investigate Spock's Beard a little more closely. I did not like Neil Morse's voice. I'll tell you that right up front. That was my biggest impediment to liking Spock's Beard. I just wasn't a fan. Funny how things change over the course of time, isn't it? Because now I am just a diehard Neil Morse guy. Yeah, so then I went back and checked out the Flower Kings, and they've become one of my favorite bands. Dream Theater's amazing, Marillion's amazing, but Transatlantic is more than just the sum of its parts. When they get together, a certain kind of magic happens, and I'm sure it happened on the high seas last night. Boy, oh boy. No, I'm not upset about this at all. Yeah, these guys only have 5 albums out, so why am I even bother ranking it? Yeah, why not? You know, I like ranking stuff, and I really wanted to talk about Transatlantic today because I've been thinking about them all day, and I'm going to start with number 5. We're going with Kaleidoscope from 2014, their 4th album. This has a guest appearance from Daniel Gildenlow. It's the only time on any of their 5 albums that somebody besides those 4 cats sings, and he does a great job on here. There are the guys on that gatefold. Kaleidoscope was kind of a return to what they were trying to do on their first and second albums. After the Whirlwind, they needed to go back to more song-based type of stuff. It's a good album. If this were by anybody else, this would be a classic. But the problem is, it's Transatlantic, and this is not their best album. In fact, I've got it at number 5, and it's amazing. I'm going to be doing 2014's ranking here very soon, and something tells me that's going to be very high on it. At number 4, I'm going with the debut album, SMPTE, SMPTE. For those of you that don't know, apparently that's some kind of software, video editing software to sync up audio and video. I have no idea, but obviously it's, their initials. This is their first album. I guess Neil Morse and Mike Portnoy had been talking for a while. They actually met in the lobby of the recording studio as they were sitting down to record this. All subsequent releases have been done at, people's private studios and whatnot, but this was the one they actually sat down in a real recording studio and did, and it's amazing. I really like this album a lot. Like I said, this was the one that got me back into prog after 20 some years of forsaking the genre. I even like the cover they put on here. There's the Procol Harum In Hell 'Twas an I, which could be considered the very first prog epic ever. They do a fantastic cover version of it on here. But probably the thing most people will remember this album for is the epic. All of the above. It's just so good. A lot of people's favorite Transatlantic track, and I couldn't really argue with them about that. At number 3, the Whirlwind. After these guys broke up, they did 2 albums. They broke up, and Neil converted to Christianity. He left Spock Spirit, he left Transatlantic, so we didn't think we were ever going to see any more music from Transatlantic. They came back together for this, and what a masterpiece it is. It's a 78-minute album. There's 12 different tracks, but they all crossfade into one enormous 78-minute-long epic, and some people decry the Dancing with Eternal Glory, the coda, the grand finale of this album being maybe a little bit too spiritual, maybe a little bit too deep into the Christian ethos. I disagree. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Neil talking about what he's passionate about, and when people are passionate about what they're singing, they tend to do it better. Yeah, they do. At number 2, I really didn't think anything was ever going to surpass this. Their sophomore album, Bridge Across Forever. This album's perfection. It's a 10 out of 10 record. I just adore everything about this record. Stranger in Your Soul, Duel with the Devil, that Sweet Charlotte Pike is fantastic. There's so much Beatlesque stuff going on in here. I probably played this album more than any other modern prog album. I just adore every second of this record, and the ending part with Stranger in the Soul, when that reprises that little piano bit that apparently Pete wrote, comes back. It just tears coming down. It's just one of the most perfect moments in the history of prog. Yeah, Bridge Across Forever. They just reissued most of the Transatlantic records on vinyl. I've got the originals because I'm good like that. You guys know what's number 1. You're seeing it right there. It's the new one. Yeah, the Absolute Universe. At Morsefest, apparently the guys played the Whirlwind on Friday night, and then they played the Absolute Universe on Saturday night. Man, I sure wish I would have been there for that. This is the deluxe edition, so it's got the Blu-ray 5.1, but more importantly to me, it's got both versions, the 3-disc extended version, Forevermore, which is primarily a Roy Stalt joint. He was responsible for mixing most of this, and then Neil thought it was too long, and Pete agreed with him, so they went ahead and did an abridged version. This is not just the shorter version of it. There's different songs, there's different singers, there's different lyrics. So what's the difference here? Well, this came first, so most of the lyrics tend to be like a Whirlwind Part 2 kind of affair. This was the second one that Neil Morris reworked. A lot of the lyrics tend to point more towards lockdown and pandemic type of stuff, so this one is a little bit more topical. They both have elements that I really, really enjoy. What I did is I created my own version because they all sync up really well. I need a cough button, or I need to learn how to edit. One or the other would be really helpful. But when you got these two different versions, they do sync up pretty well. So on my iTunes playlist, I'm able to like pick and choose which one I like better, and they all seem to flow real well together. Yeah, I can't tell you which one's better because there's elements of both that I absolutely adore. Yeah, the Forevermore is a little bit longer. It's got some tracks on there that I really miss on the shorter version, but the shorter version is just a really nice listen. It's 60 minutes. It flies right by. So it really depends what kind of mood I'm in on which version of that record that I want to listen to. But it was my number one album of 2021. It's one of the greatest albums in the history of prog, the absolute universe. It's absolutely amazing. I love Transatlantic. I could make a really strong case that Transatlantic is the greatest band in the world today. Apologies to the Neil Morris Band and Wobbler and Big Big Train and Opeth and hey, Porcupine Tree's now a actual working concern again, so I guess they might have a little something to say about that. But I love Transatlantic, and like I said, I was feeling all kinds of things about not being on Cruise to the Edge, about not being able to go to Morsefest, and I'm hoping that we have the great Scott Medina can come in and talk to us about both of those events, because I'm sure that fool did both. He said he was going to, so I take him at his word, and maybe we can get him on here and tell us about all the great stuff that I missed and get me even more jealous than I already am. Anyway, I need to figure out a way to wrap things up a little bit better. You know, I've got my little intro thing down, but I'm really terrible about ending these videos, so you guys need to help me out with a tagline to get me out of here a little bit more succinctly. But anyway, I am Scott from the Fire Note, and you are in the Prog Corner, and I love you guys. I will see you very, very soon. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Do not forget to hit that notifications button. Do not forget to hit like. Do not forget to share, do all that lame stuff that's going to grow this channel and make me a superstar in the prog world. Whatever. I'll see you cats later.